Welcome to M&M Framing's new employee safety orientation video. M&M Framing strives to provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards. Our goal is to eliminate work-related accidents, but we can't do it without the participation of each and every one of our employees. Hazards are everywhere on a construction job site, and it's everybody's responsibility to know what those hazards are. It is the employee's responsibility to know M&M Framing's Code of Safe Practice. M&M encourages every employee to report any unsafe condition on the job site. Always wear your hard hat, boots, and safety glasses when you're on the job site. Be alert to your surroundings. Inspect your work area for hazards before beginning work. If you see anything that may cause an accident, fix it, move it out of the way, or let your foreman know about the hazard. Always inspect your tools prior to use. Stay alert and know what you're doing when you're using a saw or a nail gun. Do not overreach when cutting. Altering your nail gun or saw increases the risk of injury and is prohibited. Nail guns should always have the safety spring installed. Never remove or jam the guard on your saw. All extension cords must have a ground. When repairing a hose, only approved fittings or clamps are allowed. Do not use loose clothing at work. Keep your hands at least 12 inches from the saw when you're cutting. Keep all your compressor hose and extension cords in good condition and always away from paths. No plastic fuel tanks are allowed on the job site. All fuel containers must be at least 10 feet from compressors. Learn to recognize fall hazards on the job site that are likely to cause injury, illness, or even death, such as slick surfaces, trip hazards, improper lighting, dangerous locations, or environmental exposure. When working in attics of completed homes at all levels, including single-story homes, always use proper caution and walk only on properly installed 4-inch nominal material. Do not walk directly on trusses and avoid walking on top plates. Only use ladders that are in good condition, free from damage, and are designed to handle the type of work you will be needing it for. If the right ladder is not available for you, do not start working with the wrong ladder. Do not step on the top 2 rungs of any ladder. Weight limitation caution stickers must always be legible. A-frame ladders are never to be used leaned against any building or wall. Make sure that the ground is even and the ladder is fully open, locked in place, and that the rungs, cleats, and steps are parallel before getting on. Extension ladders need to be tied down when accessing top plates or an upper level. Make sure the floor is free from debris when setting up your ladder. When positioning an extension ladder on buildings, there should be at least 3 rungs over the height you're trying to reach. The base of the ladder should be positioned 1 foot away from the building for every 4 feet of height. Make sure the rubber legs are down on concrete or the fork-like legs are stabbed into the dirt if the ladder is placed on dirt or gravel. Always maintain a 3-point contact on the ladder when climbing. For example, 2 hands and 1 foot or 2 feet and 1 hand. When ladders are not in use, they need to be laid horizontal on the ground and away from building openings or traffic areas. Do not climb ladders on windy or rainy days. Make sure your work boots are free of grease or mud before climbing. Carry tools in pockets, in a bag attached to a belt, or raised and lowered by rope. Do not attempt to climb the ladders with tools in hand. Look for overhead power lines, especially with aluminum ladders, before handling ladders to avoid electrical hazards. When working on upper levels, do not get distracted or distract others. Fall protection is required if working 15 feet or higher. M&M Framing has chosen to use a scaffolding system at every job that requires the use of fall protection. If scaffold is not available, you must use a harness and anchor system on heights over 15 feet. When using a harness system, make sure that the harness is properly put on and hooked up to an anchor system. All stairs must have temporary handrails at 18 inches and 36 inches. All upper floor stairs openings must have handrails at 18 inches and 42 inches. Window openings on upper floors must have a 2x4 across the window if the opening is under 36 inches. If there's a door or balcony, there must be 2x4s at 18 inches and one at 42 inches. A tie-down ladder must be available when accessing upper levels prior to stairs being installed. Roof pitches on single stories with a 7/12 pitch or greater need scaffold even on single-story homes. Caution signs must be put up when erecting scaffold or while scaffold is up. Inspect scaffold prior to use. All planks must be in good condition and free from cracks. There should always be handrails around the entire scaffold system. If there are any issues, do not use scaffold and tell your foreman. Access scaffold from an extension ladder only. Ladders must be tied down and 3 rungs higher than the exit point. If it is raining or winding, do not work on scaffolding. Never overload scaffold or remove platforms from scaffold. Debris should never be allowed to accumulate on platforms. Do not attempt to connect scaffold from one building to another. M&M Framing wants to make sure that every single employee is aware of the dangers and symptoms of heat illness. When temperatures reach 80 degrees or higher, every M&M job site will have water and shade. Please use the shade and drink water frequently throughout the day to avoid heat illness. At 90 degrees or hotter, it is mandatory to take a 5-minute break every 2 hours to avoid dehydration if working directly under the sun. It is very important to recognize the symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Symptoms of heat exhaustion are dizziness, headache, sweaty skin, fast heart rate, nausea, vomiting, weakness, and cramps. Heat stroke symptoms are red, hot, dry skin, high temperature, confusion, fainting, and convulsions. If you see someone disoriented or confused, get them into the shade and tell your foreman. All chemicals used on the job site by M&M Framing are clearly labeled. A current inventory list of all hazardous materials is maintained. Any employee handling hazardous chemicals must use the correct PPE such as gloves or mask. MSDS data sheet is posted on the First Aid Safety Board station of every M&M job site. If you are exposed to any hazardous chemicals or there are any chemical spills on the job site, you must report it immediately. Always keep vigilant of heavy equipment on the job site. Do not operate any equipment without the proper certifications. Do not walk behind or in front of a forklift or any other heavy equipment. Listen for the forklift reverse alarm. Stay away when it is going off. Never walk under the forklifts or boom for any reason. Equipment that is red tagged should not be used. Work area must be free of scrap material. Do not start work if the area is not free from hazards. Separate scrap from usable materials and store the scrap pieces in a tidy pile 10 feet from building when possible. Clean up as you go. All areas need to be cleaned daily. When cleaning upper levels, make sure there is nobody walking underneath. Use a watchman when lowering material. Look first. Yell headache second, then dispose of material third. Keep all work areas and passageways clear of scraps, hose, extension cords, tools, or other hazards. Walk your work area for any unbent nails. If you see a hazard, clean it or alert your foreman of the hazard. Do not wait until someone gets hurt. Thank you for doing your part in keeping a safe work environment and helping avoid injuries to yourself and others on the job site. At M&M Framing, our #1 priority is your safety. Thank you for watching M&M Framing's new employee safety orientation video, and welcome to the company.